Hi,
Hello.
do you want to start the conversation?
Yeah. What do you got?
No, I said, do you want to start the conversation? Like, what is a
I want
woman?
to, do I want to start?
Yeah, yeah, like what you can tell me what you think a woman
Do
is.
you disagree?
Oh, yeah, I do. I'm trans and
Okay.
I disagree.
Okay. What's your reason for disagreeing?
So you're just going to ignore my question and go on to your question? Does your question matter more than my question?
Look, I'm not going to do this. Do you disagree with the prompt or not?
Yeah, I disagree.
Okay, great. What's your reason for disagreeing?
Because the definition of woman is an adult female. How can a male be a woman?
Because sex and gender are different, right?
Lord have mercy.
Sex refers to your reproductive system. Gender
You're so
refers
old.
to your neurobiology, social aspects, psychological aspects. That's what gender means. And gender encompasses gender
You're so old.
expressions, gender identities, things like that, gender roles. And that goes beyond your chromosomes. And that's why there's a sex gender distinction.
Okay, using bigger words doesn't make your sentence more correct, just so you know. It's incorrect. It's
These are
Walshaft.
not very big words, they're very easy words.
Mm, you're trying to sound more intelligent than you actually are. You're trying to become across. Let's be honest, right? You once tried to get views on this app.
No,
You
look,
wasn't getting views because you
look,
no
look,
no
look.
no 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 no. I'll let you speak.
No, no. Do you have a real critique or are you just gonna cry? Right? I just want a real critique. Give me a genuine critique of this statement. If not, I don't care. You're muted. I can't hear you.
Oh, I think if you check my following, babe, I think you and I understand this app probably a lot better than you. So what do you want to discuss next? Which part?
Okay, so which part did you do disagree with about what I said, and what's your counter argument?
Sex and gender are two completely separate things. It's walkshite. There's
Okay,
no
so
science of it. There's
you
no
disagree that
science.
sex and gender are different?
No, I don't. I think they're the exact same. If you're born male, you're male, you're a man. If you're born
Okay.
female,
Yeah. So
you're
again, the current data that we're finding out through fMRIs and MRIs, we're discovering that there is an entirely different category called gender that is distinct from sex. Sex is reproductive system. Gender has to do with your brain. And so we're finding correlations between trans women brains and cis women brains. We're finding that they're both very similar. And we find, in fact, that the brain structures align with their respective gender identities. We're finding women have very similar brains. And there are brain phenotypes.
you're
In other
talking
words, a
about
spectrum of
brainwashing, right?
brains
You're
that
talking about the
correspond to
brainwash.
their gender identities.
You talk about the brainwash, what people think happens in the second trimester of pregnancy, right? Where there is no scientific studies that actually back it whatsoever. None. None. It's
Oh, well,
nonsensical.
so
It's
no,
nonsensical.
no. So here's a study called Sex versus Gender Associations with Brain Structure. And this study demonstrates what I'm telling you. They look at neural imaging and they find that parts of the hypothalamus, the hippocampus, that there is that the brain structures were more consistent with their gender expression rather than their sex.
Yeah, have you read all of that study? Because I guarantee it tells you the same study was done on GAY men and they also align more with a female. Did you
No,
read that part?
no,
It's
we,
like
we
reading the
don't.
small print on a contract. You
No,
probably missed that part.
they account for that. We understand that gay men and there are similarities, but again, on average, we're finding that there are correlations between trans women and cis women.
Okay, so what's
There
your
are far
definition of a woman?
correlations.
Seeing as I've answered all your questions and it seems like you don't want to answer questions, can you answer my original question that I asked you? And then, because I've answered like three or four of yours, like what is the definition of a woman in your opinion? Or factually, I prefer factually, not your opinion.
A woman is a gender identity that aligns with female sex typical traits.
So going on hormones and having second sex characteristics is what a woman is to you. Or makeup. Women are masks. Is that what
No,
you're saying? Women are
a
just
woman,
masks.
woman's an identity, right? And so I'm a man because of my identity as a man. It comes from
You're a
my
man
brain.
because of your gametes.
It comes from my brain, the way my brain operates, right? It's embedded in my neural wiring. And the same with women, the same with men, the same with all gender identities. It has to do with the brain, and that's why trans women are women because it comes from their brain. They're born like that. They're born. I was born a man. I was born with my identity. Trans women were born with their identities. It's no different.
Sorry, my phone seems to be dying. So you think a woman is just putting makeup on and having long nails and that's it, right?
No.
Taking
A woman
hormones.
is an identity. A woman is
Sorry,
an
go on.
identity that aligns with female traits, female typical traits.
But there's no science that proves that.
Sure,
No,
there is. So
there is not.
here's a
There is
study
not.
called Neurobiological Characteristics Associated with Gender Identity, findings from the neuroimaging studies in the Amsterdam cohort. And it found that there were specific transgender neural signatures suggesting unique brain phenotypes.
Yeah, but we've just had this particular subject and the same test was done on GAY men and they aligned as well.
What are you
People
talking
are
about? What study shows that this study is incorrect? You don't have one. I understand that
the
there are
same-
similarities
the exact
between
s-
gay men. I understand that there are similarities between gay men and straight women, but we are accounting for those. We account for those differences. And we go beyond that and we recognize trans women have similar brain structure, similar brain types as cis women. So we account for gay men. We're not looking at that.
Can you define a woman identity, please?
A woman identity is
Yeah, 'cause you said a woman is an
female-
identity. Can
It's
you
one that
define
aligns
the
with
identity?
female typical traits.
Female typical traits. So any man in these comments right now could just say, "Oh, I feel like a woman today, so let's be a woman." No,
No, because it's
you know,
not a
you know,
feeling.
you want to know the
Because
actual
It's
truth,
not a
right?
feeling. No, you're confused. It's not a feeling. All right, I don't just feel like I'm a man. And that's why trans women, they don't just feel like they're women. It's a deep internal sense of identity that you can't shake. It's not like I feel happy tomorrow. I'm like, oh, I feel happy today. No, it's not that kind of feeling. It's an identity. It's something you're born with. It's deep in your neural wiring, in your neurobiology. And that's the studies I gave you just demonstrate that, but you're blatantly disregarding them.
No. You're just
Okay,
ignoring
then
the
give
other
a
side of that
scientific
study.
then give a scientific critique.
There is so many studies that prove the other
Okay,
side
then
of
give
what
a
I just said. You're
scientific
just
crit-
listening
then
to
give a
one side of
scientific
the
critique.
studies.
Give a scientific critique.
You're listening to one side of the studies.
Give
If
me the
you know,
actual
you know
critique. Then.
Edna,
Give me your
you know
scientific
Ed,
critique.
do you know Edna Mode on this app? If they
Give
was
me
to
your
come up, they
give
would
me your
absolutely
scientific
rip you a
critique.
new one.
Give
Read
me
your
your sci-
comment. You think you're doing
Yes.
us? One second.
Guys, I understand you guys are frustrated that I'm saying this. You guys hate me. Oh, trans, but just listen to the research. I gave that person 2 studies that demonstrate what I'm saying. Right? You can say, "Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, I lost," but you haven't given an actual valid critique. You haven't given a valid critique. I'm sorry.
Oh, great. Finally, my turn. Okay. Can you hear me? Oh, sorry. I'll wait for you to finish drinking.
Yes.
Okay. So trans women are women, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Woman is a social construct, right?
No.
Would you? No, it's not a social construct.
No, I think a woman is an identity. It's a
Right. Is
neurobiological basis.
okay. Would gender be a social construct?
Gender has to do with social constructs, but it's a broader term that encompasses more than just social constructs. It encompasses psychology, neurobiology, all the others that have to do with how we think
Okay.
about sex.
What I'm saying was, do you think gender is socially constructed?
There are parts of it that are socially constructed, like gender roles, right? Like what Americans think that a woman should be doing. Those
Okay.
are
So,
social
but
roles.
gender itself is not socially constructed.
Gender itself encompasses more than just social aspects.
Okay. Then what is gender based off of in your
It's
logical and
based off
factual
it's
opinion?
based off of social, psychological, and neurobiological aspects.
Okay, so women, what are the social and biological aspects of women?
Women, they typically have longer hair. They wear makeup. They're more nurturing qualities, more feminine qualities. Those are
Okay,
typically.
typically, but not definitively, right?
There is no definitive
I would
quality.
think okay, so is there a difference between men and women?
Yes.
Okay, so then if it's typical, then it's not definitive, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So,
There is no one definitive trait
right.
that makes
No,
it
if it's
only women
definitive,
can have.
if it's definitive, then it wouldn't apply to both people, right? Men and women are different. You just agreed to that. So if long hair can also apply to men, then that doesn't mean that it specifically applies to women, correct?
Wrong. I
Well,
agree that
wrong?
there is no exclusive trait that only women can
You
have, that
just said
men
it's
can't have.
definitive. You just said that.
No, what I'm saying is that there are distinct categories. What a man is obviously different than what a woman is. But there is no one exclusive trait that only women can have that men can't have.
There is
Just
no
like a truck. Oh, hold on. Just like a truck, for example. What's the difference between a car and a truck?
probably the build on those two vehicles, correct? A
Well,
car.
you could say,
Okay.
oh, well, trucks have beds.
Yes,
Cars
right.
don't have
And
beds.
cars, exactly. So
But cars,
trucks. Okay.
but hold on.
Okay, go
Cars
ahead.
can have beds.
Okay, go ahead.
And so if you go along all the traits between these two vehicles, you'll find
Why
that
are we
there
comparing
is
humans to cars?
you'll find that there is no distinctive trait that is exclusive only to trucks that cars can't have. And this is how words and categories work. And you are asserting a kind of essentialist categorization of language that I am not. You're question begging a kind of
Can you
essentialist view.
continue real quick
And
or no?
I am not, and this is why your
The
critique is
comparison that
valid.
you're making is very bad. Okay. So you're saying that trans women are women. Therefore, you're saying they're not men, right?
They're not men. They're
Right,
women.
correct. Correct. So that means that you have some sort of distinction between the two. And long hair would not be a distinction between men and women, correct?
It is a distinction
It's
because
not.
those are typical traits.
Typical
Those are,
means
look, they're obviously,
if
again,
it's,
back to the car and truck example, right? Beds are typical of trucks.
can
And
I
so
finish
that
real
is
quickly?
a trait that we can say is distinctive. However, there
Do you know what
is no
distinct
one
means?
exclusive, there is no one exclusive trait that only fits trucks and can never fit a car,
Do you know
right?
what distinct means?
Different, yes.
Yes, exactly. So if they apply to both people, then it's not distinct, correct?
There are distinct categories.
It can't be distinct if it
Yes, there
applies to
are.
both.
Look,
Okay, so
again,
so
let's
hold
go
on.
back to the truck example, right? The truck can have a bed, but so can the car. However, we still would say the bed is a distinct feature of trucks. It's different. It's typical of a truck that cars have beds. And so that's why we can still make these category distinctions based on cars and trucks,
Can I get my point?
even though cars can have beds. The same with men and women, right?
Can I get my point across real quickly?
No,
With
you have to listen because this is important. The same with men and women, right? Women may have long hair, and so can men have long hair. But the difference is that it's more typical of females that they have longer hair. And we can still make category distinctions based on typical traits. And that's why the word
can
typical
I respond,
is
please?
important here.
Can I respond? Typicality doesn't mean exclusive, right? And if we're distinguishing men between women, then it has to be exclusive because if there is no exclusivity, then it means there's not distinction. So if they both
No,
hold on, let
that's
me finish. I
incorrect.
let you talk.
No,
Can I? Oh, I
this
can't
is
talk?
incorrect. You have to listen because you're just wrong. You're asserting an essentialist view of categorization. Do you know what that means? You don't know what that? Do you know what that means?
I do. Yeah. Can I finish what I was
does it mean?
saying?
What does an essentialist view of
Can I
categorization? What
finish?
does an essentialist view of categorization mean?
Can I finish? Because you keep
Answer my
interrupting me.
question.
You
Answer
keep
my question.
I haven't been able to finish my point.
What does an essentialist view of categorization
Can
mean?
I finish? Because
No.
everyone
Answer
wants
my
me to.
question. If you don't know this, I can't debate you.
Because you won't let me finish, you're gonna drop me,
Because you don't
right?
understand
Because
what you're
everyone you talked to
debating.
didn't know what you were talking about. Now I do, and you're gonna.
You
Okay.
don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, I
What is
do.
an essentialist
Yes, I
view of
do.
categorization?
You said long hair. That was your specific example.
No,
Long
no,
hair.
no, answer the question. What is an essentialist view of categorization?
It's a fixed category. That's what you're saying, right?
No,
So
no,
let
you're
me hold
wrong.
on.
You
Let
don't know
me
what you're
finish.
talking about. The essentialist view suggests that in order to make category distinctions, there has to be exclusivity. And that
Right.
is not something that I adhere to. That is exactly the case in the truck and the car, right? We don't use that theory, right? I use more of a prototype theory of categorization, in which we don't make those distinctions based on exclusivity. We make distinctions based on typicality and standout traits. And that's why when you say, oh, well, men can have long hair too, that fails because it asserts a particular theory of categorization.
Right. And what I'm saying is, if
No,
you
you
would let me
can't say
finish,
right. No, you
if
can't
you would
say
let me,
right.
if you would let me
Then
finish,
if you're gonna say right, do you agree
if
that
you would let
I'm
me
correct?
finish, can you hear me
Do
out
you
for a
agree that I'm
second?
correct?
Can you hear me out
Do you,
first? Because
do you agree that I'm correct on
no, I
that or
don't.
not?
Can I finish?
Am I
Because
correct or no?
I don't agree with you, but you want
Okay,
me to
why am
say
I incorrect?
I'm
Go.
trying to tell you why you're incorrect, but you won't let me. So if you'd let me talk, I would appreciate that. Again, there has to be some sort of distinction. You agree that men and
There is.
women are different. Okay, yes, you agree that men and women are different. So if you list a typicality or a commonality, then there would no longer be a distinction between the two, right? So,
Okay, so do you
okay, can
think
I
that
finish?
trucks?
Can
So
I
do you
finish?
think? So let's
Can I
no,
finish?
no, because again, we have to do this again because I already went over this with you, right? Do you think there is a distinction between cars and trucks?
Why are we comparing human
No,
beings?
so we're not comparing humans to trucks. We're comparing the categorization theory. So do you agree? Do you agree that cars are distinct from trucks?
Well, cars don't have truck beds, so I would say,
But cars can have that.
okay. Oh well, cars.
Oh,
I'm not talking about cars. Okay, I
okay,
know.
so what's the fucking distinction?
You're failing at
What's
counter
the
arguing.
fucking
You're failing
difference?
at counter arguing my
Yeah,
point. So now you have.
I'm done. I'm done. See, a lot of you guys are very arrogant and you want to come up here and think that you're going to beat, but you're not going to do anything if you don't listen to what I'm telling you. The reason why she failed to give the distinction between cars and trucks is because there isn't one that is exclusive. The same thing with men and women. There is no exclusive trait that only men can have that women can't have. And so to think that that is what makes my view false is a fallacious way of thinking. All right. You can say I lost, but you can't figure out where I lost.
Hey Mike, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
Hey, all right. Just real quick, you really didn't give her a fair chance, man. You really didn't let her speak, but besides the point,
That's fair.
I just got a couple things. So, first of all, I'm from planet Earth, and you're going to feel a lot better once you lose your virginity to a woman. And second, stay away from kids, okay? Go fuck yourself.
I love how they're very angry. Like, guys, let's take a deep breath and relax. It's okay. Being transgender is not some kind of craziness. It's something we're born with. Just like I'm born with my man identity, trans women are born with their identity. That's why they're women, right? And you can make all these attacks and insults all you want, but at the end of the day, trans women always have existed and always will exist. And if you disregard their existence, you're just being a very hateful person, like that guest was. I understand you guys all don't like me. I get it. It's okay. I understand that.
Almost every social media platform.
I'm not actually here to debate you. I'm a trans woman, and I just want to say thank you for being an ally to the community. I initially started following you because all of the videos you do about the history of Earth, and to see you now doing these lives and keeping your arguments rooted in science is very affirming. And I just want to say thank you and to keep doing what you're doing, because these people can sit here and say all these things about how I'm not real, my identity is fake, I'm mentally ill, and I will sit here and say, okay, those are your feelings, but I'm sitting here in reality in front of you, and I'm not going anywhere. So
Exactly.
it isn't up for
Exactly.
existence. So I really appreciate you trying to spread the good word, but I'd also challenge you to say maybe not even give this attention to these arguments, because,
Well,
and I'm not trying to argue with you, but I'm just
I know.
giving you like some food for thought, because it is fueling the fire, because ultimately you're right, it is innate to our identities, and this doesn't need to get more attention than it needs to get. People are calling us groomers, they're calling us pedophiles, just like that man did to you, because hate is being spewed in this country.
Yes, but I
Because
think
of
the solution to that is not to avoid it, but to go directly towards it and to challenge the other side. with facts and data. And that's what their weakness is. That's their kryptonite, right? Their kryptonite is the data. If you notice, the people I talk to, they disregard all the data.
Oh yeah, no, I'm totally
So
there
that's
with
their
you
weakness,
on
and
it.
that's where we have to hit
But
them.
I also would challenge you to say that not to even give them a platform to try to combat it
No,
is not even worth it.
no. It's okay to talk to the other side. I want to be in the room with other people that disagree with me. Why? Because I can challenge them and I can talk to them and we can come to agreements. And so, I don't want to avoid other people. I want to take them on, you know. All right, let's get on with it. Sorry, guys. Hey, how are you?
Good, and you?
Great.
Um, I'm gonna piggyback off what the other guest said. Thank you for supporting people like us. It's really hard, and honestly, I really appreciate it because it's not often you get to talk to people who actually cares about people like us. So I appreciate you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
of course.
All right, have a nice one.
You too. I appreciate you guys if you come up and you support me, but I really want to get on to the opposition. Hello?
Yeah, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. This is all just my personal opinion. Trans women are not women.
Okay. What's your reasoning?
I think the political left is crazy. Because
No. I don't care about you think you're crazy. I want the reasoning why you think this is false.
because there are very rare exceptions of intersex, but
We're not talking about sex. Right? We're talking about gender, right?
intersex. What is intersex, and how rare is it?
It's
About
rare.
one in 10,000, right?
It's a rare condition
About
in
one
which
in
people have
10,000.
different chromosomes. It's irrelevant to gender, though. Do you understand that there's a gender-sex distinction?
They're basically synonyms.
No, they're not. And the
How
reason
many?
why
Wait,
is
wait. Could I ask you how many genders are there?
it depends. Depends on the
What does it
societies.
depend on? Give me a number. I
It
say three.
depends on
Give
the
me a number.
social environments. It depends on
I
the.
will explain why I think. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It
Go
depends
ahead.
on who you're talking to, who they identify as. See, the brain is responsible for our identities. Everything you think about, everything you believe, everything you understand about yourself and perceive yourself to be comes from your brain. And the same with trans people. Just like me and you have identities that come from our brains, so do trans people. They also have identities. There's no difference in actuality, but there is an incongruence between the brain and the sexual body. And that's what trans people typically experience. And so that's the only difference. And so a trans woman is woman because they have a woman identity that goes beyond their sex.
Look, I think there are three genders, and I can explain that to you if you'd like.
Now, I just want some kind of counter argument, right? I just want some kind
There's
of
male, female, and ambiguous or undefined.
We're not
because
talking
of
about
birth
sex.
depth.
This is irrelevant.
Men are born with a Johnson, and women are born with a kitty cat. I'm trying to use TikTok speak here, but what did the doctor say when you were
That's
born?
sex, sir. That's not gender.
I have a Johnson. That's what makes me a man.
Congratulations, but that doesn't matter. We're not talking about your pee-pee. We're talking about your gender. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a difference between gender and sex. Do you want me to explain it to you again?
They're really they're synonyms.
Okay. That's
Do you think having a Johnson
not really going to help? All right, let's get on to the next person.
Hi, how are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm well. Hold on, let me turn you up. I can't hear this. 1 second. All right. So, I have no issues whatsoever with the trans community whatsoever, but I do think kind of conversations or topics like this can be misleading and damaging. Let me say this. Guys dribble basketballs, women make them. That's
Okay, but
that's the science.
do you have a reason why this is false, or do you just are just going to state your opinions today?
No. I just stated facts. Metaphorically, though.
Okay.
Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
All right. Thank you for coming up. All right, let's get on to the next person. Let me get some music in here.
Yo, Mike,
Hey, how are you?
stop rage baiting on live, you dumb faggot.
Thanks for coming on. I love the hate. Hey, how you doing?
Hey Mike, I'm really sorry about that last comment.
No problem.
Yeah, I wanted to come on here and say that trans people are definitely real and valid. The things that they go through are real and valid. And I also want to make the case on women's side too, because I am a cis woman, that cis women are also valid and their opinions are valid. So I would love to hear more women come up, more cis women, as well as trans women, seeing when cis women are not allowed to speak. You know, it's very important that we get to speak to each other so we can get to a commonality and a common ground. We have to, right? So with the last woman that I saw, it made me so upset. Even if she's wrong, right? It made me so upset to see that she cannot speak. What do you have to say, Mike?
What do you mean she couldn't speak? What are you talking about?
Where every time that she tried to make a case, she was interrupted or muted.
Well, that doesn't mean that she can't speak, right? That's just me muting because I'm trying to make a point and she isn't listening, right? That doesn't mean I'm taking her right to speak away.
I get that when you try to make a point, you know, obviously person has to.
Do you have a counter argument, or should I move on?
No, I do have a counter
Okay,
argument.
great. So why do you think trans women are not women?
I think that it's definitely a hard conversation, but I think that the base of a woman comes from what cis women are, right? We wouldn't have another definition outside of the original woman. So
Okay,
I'm not.
so no.
Okay.
We understand now that woman transcends your sex. It transcends your genitalia. It has to do with your
Absolutely.
brain, right? I'm a man because of my brain. My brain is responsible for my identity,
Hmm.
not my pee-pee. And my pee-pee doesn't have a say in my identity. It's my brain, and that's why trans women are women, because it comes from
Okay.
your brain. And just like you're a woman. Are you a woman?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's because you have a particular brain that gives rise to your identity as a woman. And it's
Right.
something you can't change. You can't change this.
Right. So
Okay,
what
so
you're
what do you
saying
disagree
with
with?
that,
What do you disagree with there?
what you're saying with that is that everyone's reality is within their own mind, in their brain, yes?
No, not the reality. It's their internal sense or perception of who they are in regards to their sex or their gender identity.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Our entire identities as humans, our sentience derives from our brains. You
Correct.
can't,
Okay.
okay. So what I'm saying is that if someone in their own mind feels a way about themselves, like me being a cis woman, someone could come to me and say that I am a man, right? That's not my reality. I would defend myself against that case. And I
Correct.
understand why trans women do the same. Yes,
Correct.
absolutely. But it comes to a point where there is there's a trans woman that hasn't transitioned. And that's what makes it hard, where you see a trans woman in a full beard, you know, completely buff, and you're being asked to call them a woman. You know, that's the part that
Look, I
I'm
understand you might
about.
feel uncomfortable. Oh my God, people are different from me. Oh my God. But there's nothing that's invalid about their experience, right? trans women, yes, they have typically have male bodies, and they have, more muscles, things like that. But it doesn't mean that they're not women. And that doesn't mean that just because you find that weird, it doesn't mean that they're not women either. That's invalid.
I don't find it weird, and
Okay,
I
so,
would,
so then there's no need to mention the fact that they have beards.
but I made that case because of the fact that in this society we make certain rulings and we make certain we make our identities based off of what we see. A huge part of it, right? It's how we survive. It's how we reproduce. It's a huge part of
What is
our.
your point here? Why do you disagree with this?
That's what I'm explaining. There's a confusion for me in which a man at any point in their life can say that they're a woman, but there's much more
No.
than.
So you don't just wake up one day with an identity, right? You don't wake up on a whim, go, oh, I'm a woman today. That's not how this works,
I
right?
know.
It's something that you're born with. You can't. It's not like you wake up and go, oh, I'm going to be a woman today. No, trans people don't do that either, right?
Right.
That's just a miscategorization of who they are. It's something about an internal sense of identity that you can't change, and that's why trans women are women. They always were a woman and always will be women.
Okay,
And no
so
matter how they look to you, no matter how weird it is to you, no matter how different it is, it doesn't make it wrong.
it's not weird to me. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
there's
against
nothing wrong
trans
with what I'm telling you.
people
There's
or
nothing
trans
wrong with this
rights.
statement then.
I get it, but just hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying, dude. It goes down to the point where trans women are trans from the moment that they're born. We can agree on that, right?
They're not trans when they're born. They're
But
women when they're born.
they're women when they're
Trans has to do, all the transgender means is you just don't identify with what society tells you are, right?
well,
So
I'm going based
being
off of what.
trans is not something you're born with. Being a woman is something you're born with. Having an identity is something you're born with.
Absolutely. So I'm
Okay,
saying
great. So then what is the problem with this statement?
I'm trying to explain it to you. When a person is born, say, as a man, and from the moment they are born, in their mental, they are a woman, right? And say they don't come to that realization until they're in their 30s. They don't tell anyone about it. They don't have discussions about it. They haven't come to the conclusion, right? But they say, they look back, I may be a woman. I have been uncomfortable in my
Yes,
body. They take
so
me
you're
for
talking
let me
about
finish. Let me
cases
finish.
typically where when that happens is
Oh,
societal pressures, right? It's difficult being a transgender person and coming out in society. Family might say, oh, that's crazy, don't do that. You might be ostracized by society entirely. We have a lot of people in this live who are just waiting and just, salivating for somebody to call themselves trans, to hate and attack. And so
right.
that's why people refrain from coming out until they're middle-aged. Because it
I
sucks, especially 20 years ago. It just wasn't
right.
very accepted. But now we're accepting it more and more, and that's why you see these kinds of instances happening.
Right. I wanted to finish my point because I wanted to say at that point when, a trans woman is 30 and obviously they haven't transitioned in the eye of society, what should they do in the case that they want to be seen as a woman, but obviously their biology doesn't show that, their physical doesn't show that? Should the rest of the world accept that even though, the perspective is not there? So what should
I'm
society do
confused.
in general?
Society should listen to the data, and the data demonstrates that
No, I'm
they
talking
are
about the
valid.
individual person, the individual.
Yes, listen to the data, and that's what helps sharpen your understanding of other people.
But by that theory, anyone can come out and say, I felt like a woman my entire life. And
No, not everybody can do that. No, not everybody. Hey, how are you?
Well, I don't know how I got on.
On air.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? What's going on?
Are you somewhere right now? I can't hear you very well.
Hold on. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, is this better?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So, quick question. I just want to like understand your logic behind this, like the thought process. What makes you believe wholeheartedly that they're women?
Because they have an identity that is woman.
All right, but does that because their identity in their mind they believe that, is that like, do you think that's like sufficient enough for them to be, you
It's not
know?
a belief. It's a caricature to reduce it down to a belief, but it's an identity. It's something that it's an internal sense of identity that you can't shake. And yes, that's what makes them woman.
Okay, so then can we agree that so they're not logically, physically women, but since they believe in something so positive, so intensely that out of respect we can women, but and scientifically, but they're not.
You're synonymizing.
Is this what we're saying?
You're equivocating gender with sex. They're not. They're different. So women, what a woman is not a sex. It's a gender identity, and it has to do with the brain, right? Your sex has to do with your reproductive system. So that's what.
Okay, so
That's why they're women. Trans women are women in every sense of the word. They're just as women as cis women.
okay, so then how about this? They're women, but they're not females. How about that?
Yes, most trans women are not females.
Okay, so you know what? If that's the definition you want to put behind it, then I can agree with you. But besides that, I do find it very disrespectful, towards real life women. I mean,
How is it disrespectful?
because here's the thing: you're kind of putting them in you're inviting them to the same category as these people with you do understand this is a mental health issue, right? This is
What
this
is
is
it?
this
What
is
is
the
a
mental.
mental health issue?
I mean, to really believe that you're something that you're not.
Oh, no. So being transgender is not an issue. There's no ailment, there's no illness involved with it. I think you're referring to gender dysphoria, which is a mental disorder, but most trans people don't have gender dysphoria. Being
So what?
trans is not an issue. There's no ailment or illness associated with it.
I mean, so where do you get this information from? Did you read this somewhere or?
Yeah, we have dozens of studies that demonstrate there is a neurological basis behind gender identity. And so it's not that they're pretending to be women or they pretending to be something they're not. No, they are women because they have an exact women identity, just as cis women do.
Wait, so what does that even mean though? I'm confused.
What does what mean?
What you just said? I'm sorry, can you break that down for me? You said they have the same qualities as a woman, you said?
The same identity as cis women.
So what does that mean? How do you have a man, how would a man wake up and say, yeah, I have the same identity because they're not born this way. You do understand that, right?
Look,
I'm
I'm a
the thing
man.
that
I'm a man, and I think you can, understand where I'm coming from. I'm a man not because I just believe it today or yesterday or woke up feeling like a man. It's not just a feeling I'm a man. No, it's an internal sense of who I am. I can't change it, right? Like it's in my neural wiring. It's in my neural circuitry that I am a man. I'm masculine. I do manly things, and so I'm a man because that's what my brain is giving rise to. And just like trans women are women in that same sense. They have a woman brain that you can't shake. They didn't just believe they're women. They don't feel like they're women. They are women in every sense of the word.
Okay, so
Because
right.
I'm a man
So
in every sense.
I really feel like you just define mental health issues. Again, this is not something that they were not
What's the
born this
issue?
way.
Where's the mental
They were
health
not.
issue?
Here's the thing: they were not born this way. This was something that was acquired. Correct. This is something
They
that
were
came over
absolutely born
time.
this way, and we know that there is an incongruence that occurs during fetal development. We know that testosterone and estrogen can affect the brain's development and masculinize it or feminize it, and this happens in utero, and this affects the rest of your life's identity.
So the parents are to blame then.
Well, it's genetic. It's not genetic in the case of every time, but the point is that it's neurobiological.
Okay, so okay. I mean, listen. Hey, you're justifying it. It is what it is. As long as we can agree they are not females, then hey, teach his own. It is what it is. As long as we're not saying they're female, that's fine.
All right, let's get the next guest in here. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tapping.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, let me turn you up a little bit. What's up, man?
Not much.
So you're saying that there's a male and female brain?
No. We're
You're
not
saying
saying that there's an only male brain and only female brain. No, there's a spectrum of brains and hence a spectrum of genders. But we know that there are areas of the brain that are dimorphic, like the hypothalamus, for example, the thalamus, and those are the ones that give rise to our identities, our gender identities.
What part of the hypothalamus is actually dimorphic?
So we know that the central part of it is, we know that the BSTC is, we know that the
So the BNST of trans women is actually more closely related to GAY men, not actual cis women. If you actually look at the graphs,
hold on,
so
what?
the BNST of trans women and GAY men are more closely
I'm not
related.
talking about the BNST. I said the BST.
That's the only sexually dimorphic part that we've seen in actual brains.
No,
the rest of the brains have no dimorphic.
We've seen the
sex
hypothalamus. So here's a study called.
Look that study up.
Here's a study called Neurobiological Characteristics Associated with Gender Identity.
Mm-hmm. Where's it from, and who's the author? What's their methodology for testing?
It's in the
let's break it
Hormones and
down.
Behavior Journal by Julie Baker. And again, they're looking at neuroimaging studies and images.
Mm-hmm. Neuroimaging studies based on what criteria?
What?
What was their criteria? How did they break down, and what was their control group? What is their full?
They looked at people's
We're
brains.
looking at their methodology.
You looked at people's brains through fMRI.
Yeah, we're looking. I want their methodology though, so I want to break down of their methodology.
They looked at people's brains. This is a neuroimaging study.
Yeah, but in their methodology, we would actually know exactly how they broke down the science of it all. So how they did the testing.
Yes, they
what
looked at
criteria they
people's
broke it down
brains.
into.
They
and how
looked at
separated
people's
them.
brains. They scanned their brains, and they
Yeah,
asked
there's
them
more
what
to it
their
than that.
identity. They looked at.
Yeah, there's
people's
more to it
brains.
than that.
They looked at people's brains. They asked them what's their gender identity, and they found a correlation between parts of the brain and their gender identities. That's what
How
they
does this
discovered.
reference the Sex Beyond Genitalia study?
What?
So have you ever looked up the Sex Beyond Genitalia study?
No, stop. What is your critique?
You know the
on
study.
that?
You
What
know
is
the
your
study.
critique? What
Yeah,
is your
yeah,
critique?
Then listen, Mike, and I will tell you. Okay, take a second and listen. Okay, so the Sex Beyond Genitalia study is one of the longest running studies on brains and the differentiation between brains, and they've shown no categorical difference between men and women's brains that could actually be used to show that there is actually a difference. We found minor differences in the brains that
Yes,
actually have
those-
no. Hold on, let me
exactly,
finish,
exactly.
Mike. Don't get too excited.
We understand that that male and female brains are not sexually dimorphic. Stop and let me speak.
Finish.
We know that male and female brains are not totally different. We know they're very similar, but there are minor differences in these regions that we are studying more and more, and we're finding that there are stark correlations between these small regions and their identities. And it's not just one study that debunks. You're not going to just bring one study and say, "Oh, look, this is good, proves you wrong." No, we have dozens and dozens and dozens of studies and thousands of cases where we
This is the best test.
discovered correlations between them.
Tested study, host. So this
I
study.
gave you one. If you want another one, this one called
Host,
the
take a
neurobiology.
second. Take a breath. Take a breath, host.
Neurobiology of gender identity and sexual orientation. This is another study where they looked at.
Listen, host. You have to listen to the guest.
They looked
I know you
at
get excited.
hormones. They looked at all
Get
these
excited,
things.
host, but you have to
They even
listen.
looked at genes, and they discovered that there is
Host, you have to listen.
correlation between the brain and their identities.
Host, you have to listen to your guest. Okay. The study that I'm referencing has been going on since the early 2000s. It has been retested and tested and rehashed and shown that there is no ability to separate people based on their brain structures. Okay? This is the most well
Were
retested.
they
It
looking at
has
the
over
hypothalamus in
5,000.
that study?
Hold on, let me finish.
Were they
Let me
looking at the
finish. There is over
hypothalamus?
5,000
Were they looking at the
over
nerve surfaces
5,000
of the
participants in
hypothalamus?
this study.
Stop,
Over
stop and
5,000
listen.
participants.
Were they looking at the hypothalamus? Or were they making a broad
They were
generalization about the brain?
the greater structures of the entire brain. They took the entire
Okay, so
brain.
then
The
that's
entire brain.
irrelevant. Then it's irrelevant. We're
No,
talking about the
no,
minor
it's
regions
not.
of the brain in which we
Mike,
find
it is
small
not.
differences.
It is not irrelevant.
It is irrelevant because we know that on a general scale, there's no difference. But on the minor scales, when we look at specific regions, specific
Not enough of it.
geographies, we are finding these correlations in the hypothalamus, in the INAH3, in the BSTC.
Now,
We are finding, yes, we are finding these correlations. You can say no, no, no
we
all
are
you
not.
want.
No,
but I gave
correlation
you
does not
two
mean causation.
studies. What?
Correlation does not mean causation.
Well, we have enough correlation that points and
No, we
indicates
don't.
that there's a
No, we don't.
causation. The consensus in neuroscience is that
No, it's
brain
not.
Shh. You can say no, 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 but that's not an argument.
John,
The
say
consensus
that.
in neuroscience is that brain structures correlate to functional differences. This is the consensus. We know that if we if you took your brain, we know this because we
Put your
look at brain. We know this
put your
because we can, I can't. We know this because we can look at brain lesions. We look at brain lesions and we discover, oh, look, this person's function changes when they have brain lesions, which changes structure of the brain. And that's how we know that the brain structure leads to function differences. And the studies I've mentioned, he didn't attack a single thing, right? We do find in the small parts of the brain, like the hypothalamus and those parts, we do find small differences that give rise to functional differences in the brain in regards to gender identity.
Trans women are men, you faggot. Shut the fuck up, you stupid faggot. That guy fucking cooked you, you faggot.
Can you tell me the argument that got me?
He cooked you on everything. You're just a dumb faggot. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you,
Give
dude?
an example that defeated me.
Yeah, you think men...
Yeah, run away. There is no argument against this. The data is on my side. I understand you guys are hostile and very adamant against what I'm saying, but do some learning, you know? Hello?
I just want to hear you mispronounce the word hypothalamus again because it's getting hilarious.
Okay, hypothalamus, it doesn't matter how you pronounce it.
It does.
Do you
You're
have
saying it wrong
a,
every
do you
single
have
time.
a,
You're saying it wrong every single time. It's embarrassing.
do you
to
have a
me trying to study
counter
your studies
as to what I'm saying?
You don't know anything about the studies that you're reading.
Okay, go ahead and demonstrate why they're wrong.
I want you to refer back to the study and then answer one of the single questions that the
No, we're not going to do this question. We're going to, I want you to do it, perform a scientific critique on the data I presented today and the studies I presented. Oh, she's gone. Guys, I understand that you think that I'm wrong. I get it, but you're being disingenuous when you say, oh, you're wrong, right? Come on, at least give a scientific critique. At least look at the science and digest it. And then give me something that might critique it, but it doesn't exist.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great.
So can I say something really quickly?
Sure. Do you disagree with the prompt?
No.
Oh, so you agree? Transgender woman?
Yeah, I am a trans woman.
Okay.
So really, I'm gonna drop, but I just want to say really quickly that I've been watching you for years, or for, well, as long as you've been going live. And really quickly, a lot of these people are either TERFs or they're obviously just transphobes, and they do not want to accept the neurobiology. They're not ready for it. Like,
Yeah, that's the kryptonite.
yeah.
Like,
So,
wait till they hear about trans phantoms. Their minds are gonna blow up.
yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for having me up. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Wait till you guys hear about trans phantoms. All right, let's get the next guest up.
Yeah, I want you to debate Pill Lucifer right now, please. Just go, or you're a coward. Right now. And don't delete him, otherwise you will lose the debate
Wow.
immediately.
Yeah. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. But can you give me the name of the study or the idea of it?
Which one?
Anyone, just any.
So, any study you just want? Okay.
Yeah.
One of them is called Neurobiological Characteristics Associated with Gender Identity, Findings from the Neuroimaging Studies in the Amsterdam Cohort of Children Experiencing Gender Incongruence. And another one?
Yeah, just one more. So I have a question to ask. Yeah. Keep going.
Neurobiology of Gender Identity and Sexual Orientation.
Let me see this. Oh, I see it. All right. Let me just look at it real quick.
That study demonstrates that both gender identity and sexual orientation are significantly influenced by events occurring during the early development period when the brain is differentiating under influence of gonadal steroid hormones, genes, and maternal factors.
Could you tell me what events specifically take place? Could it be trauma, maybe?
No, there's no trauma involved. It's just the case that sometimes testosterone could surge in the brain during these stages in the utero, and it can masculinize the brain when the sex is female, right? This leads to incongruence. And this is what that study shows, that certain hormones, certain genes, and maternal factors could be associated with it.
Yeah. Oh, I see it right. Yeah, agenda genes 3.1. Okay, yeah, I see it. But I want to argue. Do you think that trans women, not on HRT, can have children? Like, what do you think?
Most trans women cannot have children. No.
Wait, but like a female can, like a female can though.
Females typically can, yes, but not all females can give birth either, right? It's irrelevant.
Whoa! Most can though. Can we say that most?
Okay. Yeah, most females can give birth, but that's irrelevant to their gender.
Okay, hold on. Let me think for a second. Let me think. So, okay. Let's create this scenario. Okay, let's say that a trans woman wanted to be with a man and have kids. They couldn't, but like a woman could though. Like a woman could.
Well, there's surrogacy for one. Number two, trans women, if they have genitals of a male, they can still give birth. They can still, procreate in some way via surrogacy. But yeah, that's irrelevant to whether or not they're women. They're still women in every sense of the word.
Okay, so sorry for the questions, but what defines a woman, in your opinion?
A woman is an identity that aligns with female typical traits.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I understand that. That's really all I had for today, and I guess you could say that I concede to trans women are women. Yeah, you could say that. And
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for being kind. Appreciate that.
Peace.
Woman has ovaries. No, not all women, and no, that's
Can you hear me?
not sex. Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. So you believe that a woman is you can just wake up one day and decide you want to be a woman?
Not at all.
Okay. So what's your definition then? Because I thought you just said it's
It's an
traits.
identity. It's not a belief. It's an identity.
I would agree with that. So would you agree with you are born with the private parts you are given? That decides your gender or no?
No, I'm not defined by my pee-pee. Okay, I'm defined by my identity, which is coming from my brain.
Yeah, so you can just
The brain is
so again, that means you can just make something up because it comes from your brain, right?
No, right? Like, for example, did you just make up one day that you're a man?
No, I looked down and I saw that I have a penis. That makes me a man.
No, but if I removed your penis, would you still be a man?
Wait, so you're saying if you remove my penis,
Yes. Are you
would
still
I
a
still be a
man?
man?
Yes,
Yes,
right?
because I was born with one.
You're still a man, right?
Because I was born with one, correct?
Okay. What if you weren't born with a penis?
Testosterone levels. Do a test.
Oh, okay. So there's more to it than your genitals. Okay.
Yes, but that's something completely different. That's a different.
It's
I
not
mean,
different because look, I don't when I
what?
walk
So
around when I walk around
you're
on the
not born with a
streets,
penis?
I don't have to look in your underpants to know if you're a man or not, right?
You
I
don't
can
exactly. You
make
can
guesstimates.
see someone on the side of the street
I
and
can
know if they're a man or a woman.
hold on. I can make guesstimates based on your appearance and qualities that are typical of males, right? Shorter hair, masculine traits, and this is what we typically associate with men. And so where does this all come from? Well, this comes from an identity that stems from the brain, right? The brain is responsible for how we think, how we operate as men or women. And that's why gender identities come from the brain, and hence trans women are women because they have women identities. Oh, I'm sorry, you're muted. I'm sorry, apologize for that.
Okay, so moving on from that, what's the point of men's and women's bathrooms, and do you believe that women should be able to use a men's bathroom if they're transgender?
Absolutely. There's
Ooh, okay.
there's no reason why we should prevent trans women from going into the women's
Okay,
bathroom.
perfect. So my brain tells me I identify as a woman. I'm going to go into a girl's bathroom now. That's fine?
I don't see anything wrong. Well, first of all,
Ooh,
obviously in your
okay.
case,
All right.
no, you're not listening to me. Obviously, in your case, you obviously are
Okay.
not a woman, right? You obviously don't identify woman. So yeah, I would say you're being creepy. But trans women don't just
There
wake
are
up one
so
morning and
many
identify.
creepy old men who claim
Stop,
transgender.
stop. Trans women have no problem going to the women's restroom because they are women. They are women. They have every bit of womanness as all other women. And so they should not be refrained from or restricted from going to the women's bathroom. They're just got to take a piss. Let them take a piss. And to stop them from going to the bathroom for no reason is absurd. Why should we stop them from going to the bathroom? It makes no sense. And more importantly, it doesn't make them a man. They're still women.
Okay, so you're making the argument that you're saying that why would we stop them from taking a piss? Obviously, if you were an old man going to the so do you agree with gender neutral bathrooms?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with them.
Why? If you're just going to take a piss, then what's the point of a gender neutral bathroom? Just go to whatever side you want, right?
Gender neutral bathrooms exist everywhere. There's nothing wrong with them. I think they're great.
So but it doesn't matter, right?
No, they just gotta take a piss. Let them take a shit.
Okay, so
why
I'm
are you gonna
sure.
stop? Why are you gonna stop? Trans woman,
So
you
what
can
at
take a
what
picture
point?
here.
Okay.
Crazy.
Fair. At what point do you become enough of a so say you're a man, say you're 50 years old, you fully believe you are a woman. At what point can you then go into a woman's bathroom? Is it when you take testosterone? Is it when you get a wig? Or is it when you
There is no
decide?
point. Look, it has nothing to do with your testosterone. It has nothing to do with your wig or whatever.
Okay, then that
That's
answers my
irrelevant.
question. It's
What
when you make the
matters
decision.
is they are a woman. They have every right to be in the bathroom. And you can go, oh, that's weird. I don't like it. It doesn't matter. They're
So,
not affecting you.
wow. So
Yeah,
I've
wow. It's
never talked to
amazing.
someone
Let people go to
who
the
has
bathroom.
agreed with that. You can, so I can walk into the girls' bathroom tomorrow if I want, right? And just because
No,
all you do in the
obviously you're
bathroom is go
not
to
a
the bathroom.
woman. Obviously you're not a woman.
But you just told me it's a choice you make in your head, man.
It's not a choice.
So what
No,
is it? It's not a choice.
I didn't
What's the
choose
word
to
you
be a
use?
man,
Tell me
did
the
I?
word you use.
Did you choose to be a man?
No.
Exactly. It's
But
not a
if I
choice.
wanted to
It's
switch it,
something
I
you're
would
born with.
choose.
It's something you're born with, right? So trans women
Keep
are
going.
born. The trans women are born women.
So why do they have men chromosomes then?
What do you mean? Why do they have men?
Why are
There
they
is no
born a
such thing
man?
as men chromosomes. You're talking about XY chromosomes.
Sure, whatever term you need.
Confused.
Whenever I say the bathroom thing, usually it's you go to the gender neutral. I've never heard, yeah, just sure, go in the opposite bathroom. That's the reason they make gender neutral bathrooms, because it's not a real thing. This whole
They are real things. Gender neutral bathrooms exist everywhere.
if you are trans, it's none of my bit. It doesn't affect me, whatever. But when you
No, hold
go
on. I want to make
into
sure you understand this. You know that you know that gender neutral bathrooms exist, right?
correct for a reason.
Okay, so
For
there's
a
nothing
reason,
wrong.
so that
There's
old
nothing
men aren't
wrong.
going
There's
to a
nothing
girl's
wrong with
bathroom.
that. There's
It's
nothing
fucking
wrong with that.
weird.
What?
Trans bathrooms exist so that old men aren't going into the girls' bathroom. You think they just exist because
Old
they look
men
cool?
can already go to the women's bathroom.
No, they can't.
Yes, they can. An old man can already walk into a woman's bathroom. That happens all the time.
Yeah, but I thought,
Okay, so
and they
what's
get
the big
arrested
fucking
for it. It's
deal? What's the
illegal.
big fucking
It's
deal? Yes,
illegal.
it's weird.
The big deal is that it's
They
illegal.
probably suffer from dementia, but it's
Amen.
it
We
happens.
agree. We agree that old men who walk into girls' bathrooms probably suffer with dementia and have things wrong with them. We agree.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so what does this have to do with anything with being
Appreciate it,
transgender?
man. You have a great rest of your
What does this
night.
have to do with anything about being transgender?
It's the same thing, man. You have a great rest of
How
your
is it
night.
the same thing? There's no illness, there's no dementia in someone who's
Okay,
transgender.
so 90%, and correct me if you're wrong with these numbers. Correct me if I'm wrong with these numbers. Roughly 90%, I'll say 80% of trans people have a mental illness.
Oh, what's your source on that?
I can for you right now. You want to give me again, it's a rough
What's your
estimate.
source on this?
I can find it for you right now. You want to give me a few minutes?
Let's hear it. Let's hear the source, which is irrelevant, by the way. No, trans women are a biological woman. Why? Because being a woman is neurobiological, right? We're all everything about us is biological. There's nothing that's not biological about us. And so being trans woman is biological. It's not a delusion, right? You can say it's a delusion and sit there and say, blah, 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 no, I'm right, you're wrong, but that doesn't do anything for me. That doesn't help anybody. The data shows trans women are women because they have identities that match women. And God forbid we bring up the neuroscience that demonstrates this. You guys go crazy.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Where's your source? We're waiting on it. There's no illness. So what's the illness in having an identity? There's no illness. Where is it? Where's the illness?
Okay. So what makes you say that? What's the word you use instead of a choice?
Oh,
'Cause
wait. Where's your source? Where's your source? I thought you had a source.
it's UCLA. You ever
That's
heard of
not a
that?
source. That's a school. I want a source. What's your
Williams
source?
Law. WilliamsInstitute.law.ucla.edu. That's my source.
But what does it
Cut that one out.
demonstrate? That's a website. What does it demonstrate?
why I just told you the source. You can go look it up and look
No,
at the
no,
study.
no, no, no. What does it demonstrate?
That 50% of transgender people have a mental illness.
Based on what?
Read the study,
What does
man.
the source demonstrate?
You
What
just
does
asked
the
me the
study,
source.
how
I
does it
gave it
just,
to you.
how does that study demonstrate it?
Go read it yourself, man. Look, I
No,
already
look,
came in here
no,
telling
no,
you
no,
this
no, no,
estimation.
no. You don't. What is the title of the website? Let's look this up. What's the title of the page?
WilliamsInstitute.law.
Okay. What's the title of the page or the article?
.ucla.edu.
What's the title of the article?
Again?
What?
It's more than 40% of transgender people in the USA have committed suicide. Sorry, I was wrong about the mental.
Oh.
I was wrong about the mental illness.
Oh, so you were wrong about the illness.
So it's actually. So what would you say is worse,
Oh,
mental
okay.
illness
Now
or
you're being
suicide?
dishonest. Go away. First of all, obviously you're wrong. They don't have an illness. Second of all, yes, unfortunately, self-harm occurs a lot more in those people. Why? Because the society pressuring them to be something that they're not. See, it's not that trans people are pretending to be something they're not. It's that society is telling them to be someone they're not. And imagine your whole life, like as me as a man, imagine if everybody around me, my family, my mother, my father, my brothers, my friends, my coworkers, they all were telling me, no, Mike, you're a woman. You're a woman. That would be stressful for me. I would not like that. And no matter where you go, you feel ostracized. You feel like people look at you weird. You feel like a freak when you're not. Of course, harm is going to be higher in those kinds of people. Not because of their fault. It's because of society's misunderstanding of who they are. That's actually why I'm here. Because when we understand who they are, the hate goes away. The hate disappears. See, ignorance breeds hate. Oh, they're delusional. Oh, well, that feeds all the hate. That feeds more and more hate. When you understand, oh, wait, there's a biological aspect. Oh, there's a reason why. Oh, look, there's an identity. Then you realize they're just as valid as me and you. All right, one more victim. I mean guest.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. So I'm a trans woman myself, and I just wanted to give my input on the background. Is that okay?
Sure.
So I don't believe that trans women are women. I think that trans women are a type of men, only psychologically, or I'm sorry, not psychologically, on a physical level. I understand that in society, like I understand gender stereotypes, and I understand that most likely, Courtney has wished unalive. That's not true. But yeah, like I don't think on a physical level we can be female, but I think that according to gender stereotypes of your environment or of your society, you can be perceived a certain way. So yeah, if you're gonna dress as a woman, you're probably gonna be perceived as a woman. Vice versa.
Okay. So what do you think it means? What do you think a woman is?
I believe a woman is an adult human female.
Well, that definition disregards the neurobiological fact about gender identity. We now know that the brain is responsible for the identity, and so we must make that important.
But it's just a claim. Okay, so
gender.
I'm sorry. I'll let you go.
So your definition fails to carry that utility that that allows us to understand a whole population of people that your definition can.
Okay, sure. So we can say that, let's just say that gender identity does exist. Does that actually mean that they are that gender
Yes.
because it's just a claim.
No, I'm a man because of my identity as a man. That's my
See,
identity.
I believe
And
you're a
that's
man
why I'm a
because
man.
you have large game. You denote to the sex that has large gametes. That's what I think.
But that disregards the neuroscience. And it disregards things like trans phantoms, things like gender dysphoria. Your definition does not account for any of that.
No,
And we know
I
it.
believe it does. I believe that I
It can't.
am
It
a
can't.
man
It
with
can't.
gender
So what?
dysphoria.
What explains what explains trans phantoms according to
Oh, I'm
your
sorry. I meant to say small gametes. My apologies. I get those mixed up. The small gametes. But what was I gonna? I'm sorry. Repeat that.
How does your definition of woman account for trans phantoms or account for gender dysphoria?
I'm not sure what a trans phantom is.
That's a problem. You should understand what that means, right? Phantoms
Well,
is
I'm a trans person myself. I feel like you're talking down to me as if like I'm not a I'm a trans person myself. I
I'm not
understand.
talking down to you. I'm suggesting that you should learn a bit more about neuroscience. And for example,
All I've read was like inconclusive. Like literally, all it is inconclusive. There's no conclusive evidence that the hypothalamus or whatever. Like it's suggested and it's not ruled out, but it's definitely not something that's solid. Like
there's lots of data that demonstrate that gender identities are correlated to your brain, and I can cite you many studies on this.
we can believe that. And wait.
For
Host,
example,
we can believe that, but that doesn't make
no,
the
we can
body
demonstrate
magically
it. We
female.
can demonstrate it. We can demonstrate that the brain gives rise to our identities. We can demonstrate that.
Right, but okay, neurologically.
It's not just a study. It's not just one study.
No, I understand that, Mike. But what I'm saying is that let's give you this. Okay, let's say the neurobiology of myself, I'm female. Let's just say that. But I literally have small gametes. I literally have the capacity to produce large gametes.
That's irrelevant.
Okay. So that's just irrelevant.
All that matters is how you identify. That's what makes you a woman. That's what makes me a man.
Okay. I mean, I guess we're just gonna agree, disagree. I actually have to go, but I appreciate you picking me out. I really appreciate it. I wanted to talk to you.
All right, thank you. Thanks for being
Thank
kind.
you.
Always appreciate kindness and respect. All right. Oh, people in the comments saying, "Oh, identify as a cat." Cats don't. It's not an identity, right? You don't have an identity if you're as a cat because you don't have a cat brain. This is more of a philosophical debate than a biological. Well, both are involved. Both are involved here. Biology is important, just as philosophy is important here. And people don't grasp that. People think it's just about biology or just about philosophy. No, I think both are important. Yeah, there's I'll be happy to answer some of your questions before I go. If some people identify as fish, does that mean that they can breathe underwater? Again, a fish is not an identity. It's a different species. You can't identify as a fish. It's not an identity, right? The reason why we have gender identities is because we have human brains that can produce those kinds of things. But fish don't have that. And so you can't be a fish. You can't identify as a fish. Vastly different thing. Woman isn't well defined. Well, it's hard to define something as complicated as the brain and identity. But we can make a kind of definition that makes a good amount of sense, right? A woman's a gender identity that aligns with female traits. So fish don't have brains. Oh my gosh. So fish have brains, but they're not human brains. And they're definitely not gendered brains. And that's why we can't identify as a fish or a car or a cat. People make that claim all the time, but it doesn't make any sense when you understand neuroscience. I identify as your boss. Well, a boss is not an identity, right? Look, I know, guys, it's a bit complicated, but especially when you don't consider any neuroscience, but you're just not making. I could never give birth. Well, that's irrelevant to your gender, right? There's a distinction. I feel like I'm being gaslit to believe trans are real. What are you talking about? It's something that you can't deny. It's literally real. It's like people around you are transgender. Millions of people are transgender, right? Like, how can you think that they don't exist? Right? That's more like you're repulsed by it, right? A lot of gender critical people are just repulsed by this, and they can't imagine, they can't think, they don't understand, and they say, "Oh, it's too crazy. No, woman must be adult female." I understand where you're coming from, but again, doing a bit of research. This kind of sentiment was common in the 1950s in regards to gay people, right? It was very common that people were so against gay people. It's a disease, it's an illness. They're making the same arguments you guys are making. It's delusion. They should be in conversion therapy. The same arguments were given for gay people, but now we have since learned about them, and that all dissipated over time. The same with transgender people. Right now, we're learning more about it, and people are being contrarian. But in the next decade, we're going to learn even more about the brain, and we're all going to go, oh, okay, there's going to be a paradigm shift where we recognize them as valid. It's just going to take some time for people to catch on, just as it was with the LGBT movement. Gay and trans are not the same. I never said they're the same. What I'm saying is that analogously, the kind of public sentiment that is brewing is a kind of contrarian sentiment where people are just blatantly being phobic and mean and rude because of their repulsiveness, the repulsiveness they feel towards trans people. It's just too different. It's too foreign for them. And this is a problem. The education is the solution. Yikes, what kind of live is this? I understand. I understand why people think it's weird, but it's not. If you just learn about it, right? I know you guys are scared. You guys think, oh, it's demonic, but face the demon. If you think it's demonic, face it, challenge it, and you realize it's all nonsense. It's okay that people are transgender. It's okay. They exist. They always did. They always will exist. They're not harming you. They're not, in fact, cis people are way more likely to harm them. The other way around. It's not that they're coming into our bathrooms to harm us. It's the other way around, actually. But people don't want to acknowledge this. You know? No, nobody's harming children. That's a manifestation of your fear and ignorance, right? Oh, they're harming our children. If you notice, some of the first comments people were making when the LGBT movement became more popular is, stay away from my children. And if you heard before, people literally told that to me, a cis man. Because, why? Because they associate weirdos and creeps with new ideas that they don't understand. And so education is the solution to this. And calling people transphobic doesn't really help that much. I see lots of insults on both sides of this debate. And I think we got to stop that to move forward. Can I say I identify as white when I'm black? Being white is not a gender identity. It's not an identity. right? Are you talking about skin color? What do you mean by white, right? You talk about a skin color, or you talk about a race? Well, race is a social construct. It's not an identity, right? It's a different category of thing, right? And so your analogy doesn't make any sense. It's not compatible. So if it's a skin color, that's even worse, because you can't identify as a skin color. There's no such thing as identifying as white. You can label yourself white, right? And people forget the distinction between a mere label, and identity. A mere label is a mere descriptor, right? You're just saying, I'm white, right? But an identity goes deeper than that. It goes deep into your neural circuitry, and it's a sense of perception that you can't get from your skin color. Stay away from children. But there's nothing wrong with what we're saying here. I think you're being scared. You're expressing your fear about people that are different from you. Right? Oh, they're different. It doesn't make sense to me. Stay away from my kiddos, weirdo. Well, why not relax and listen to what we're telling you? Why not listen to trans people? Hear them out. Why not really skeptically analyze this, instead of pretending as if anybody else who disagrees with you must be wrong? Not everyone is afraid. Well, then if you're not afraid, then go learn. Go learn about who they are. Go talk to them. Go learn about their experiences. Go look at the data. It's okay. You're going to be okay. It's okay. People are always, we're all human beings. They're not evil. They're not demonic. They're just people like you and me, right? Just like gay people and lesbian people and trans people. And we're just all people. We're just different. We're all unique in our own different ways. And we should be celebrating this. We should be celebrating the differences that make us unique, instead of fighting over them. Why are we fighting over them? Why? Why not recognize who we are and learn about each other? That's all we got is each other on this one planet. This one pale blue dot. That's all we got.